Namaste, my YouTube family. This is Aga. Welcome to my channel, Tree of Life Spiritual Coaching. I would like to connect with you today and talk about my experience being hypnotized using quantum healing hypnosis technique invented and perfected by famous hypnotherapist Dolores Cannon. I am certified to perform these sessions, but I haven't had one until this week. And interestingly enough, I could not upload the session because the energy affected my device, my computer, and there was this feeling right off the bat that I am not really connected to earthy planes. And when in one of the visions I saw myself as this serious being that had these extensions, metal extensions, and I had power in my hands that comes from a different planet, and I said something, oh, I don't think I'm a human, I'm not in a human form. My computer skipped a couple of frames and froze, and after that I wasn't able to see myself talk. I was able to listen to it, but I'm not able to save the recording either. It's very interesting. I can maybe record it on my phone and just have a voice, but I figured it would be more interesting just to talk about the experience. I don't have to upload just a voice. So if you haven't had a hypnosis session yet, I highly recommend considering quantum healing hypnosis, because this technique is not just about regression and traveling into past lives and finding out what experiences from those lifetimes are affecting your personality, the way you live, your experiences in life. This technique focuses on actually neutralizing and healing aspects of the psyche that are contributing to clients' illness, physical, mental, emotional, whatever the case may be. So the purpose of this technique is to actually change the frequency, the core vibration of the client, to bring it to the most natural state that is unique to each of us. And when we close these doors that might be open and adversely affecting our lives, we can't fully be present here in this realm. So for me, since I have done a lot of healing work in the past on myself, I really didn't need healing. That's what I do for others. For me, it was a journey of curiosity. And I have to say a few things that are different than in a regular cycle of brain. My frequency, body heat, and intensity of feeling was really much higher. It was very heightened. So it's not like I wasn't aware of what's happening in the room, but there was this pull, like a magnetic pull towards a different place, towards a different expression via words, different connection to other realms that do not reside in the frequencies we live in on Earth. So that I can report, to me, it felt like a magnet. And the lady that I worked with has 30 years of expertise in hypnosis. She is using Dolores Cannon method in conjunction with some of her own ways, because she's using also spirit guides, something that Dolores Cannon didn't really share with the script that the practitioners are using. And I also customize my own sessions as well based on what the client needs. But for me, I first was asked to go to a beautiful place on Earth, and I saw myself climbing rocks and climbing up to a water. It felt like I was in a natural waterfall. And I was climbing these rocks, and I looked up at the sky, and I was asked to invite my spirit guides, which I saw. I saw a few of them. One of the name that came to me was Michael, Archangel Michael. And there was some fairies energy as well. And then the lady asked me to receive a gift from this angelic being. And I saw a box, carved box, dark. And inside this box, the gift was not physical. It was like energy coming from this box, and it integrated within my being, and I turned into this Sirius female from a planet Sirius being with metallic endings, really powerful. I was naked with some metallic attachments, and then we went onto the cloud. And I connected to a few lifetimes. Some of it felt like I was shape-shifting so much that I feel like I couldn't really anchor myself in one particular life, especially in one instance when I was looking at human life. I am mostly connected to me being a shaman, not in a physical state. It was quasi-physical. I saw myself shape-shifting and changing headpieces, tattoos, pain, face pain, body pain, appearing, disappearing, changing. It was not one body I was living in. It was several different bodies, but I was a spiritual teacher, advisor to a chief of a tribe. And that was during a time where United States of America was becoming a new country. I would astral travel to the rooms where founders of the country of United States were planning how to proceed, how to colonize and conquer this country and take this land away from natives. And my work in that lifetime was to influence them so that the decisions they're making is more balanced, and it's not just based on colonization and personal benefit, but I injected a lot of feminine energy into their lives, introducing wives, introducing children, so that they could look from the more balanced perspective on how this country should be structured. So that was interesting because I could enter the room, I could be present as they were debating. I saw men wearing suits, smoking cigars, smoking pipes. So some of these images were very, very vivid, and I knew exactly what I was doing there, and I knew that I was in quasi-physical state and they could not see me. And then I would inject that feminine energy that comes from planet Sirius that I mentioned at the beginning. That was my gift, right? I have this power of being influencer and creating more of a balanced state. And in other vision, before I became a shaman, I saw myself initiating knights, like young warriors, but we were not really fighting to kill. It was not fighting that was based on aggression. It was more initiating the idea of nobility, of how to be a noble in your masculinity. So oftentimes I would wear a royal headpiece, and when I was a shaman, many headpieces that you can see all over the world if you're visiting ancient sites, Mayan sites, Toltec sites. If you travel throughout Latin America, you will see in museums these beautiful headpieces that resemble animals, small, big, whatever the tribe believed in. I was seeing myself in this ceremonial attire, in this with all these attributes. And another interesting part of this was that I connected to the chief of the tribe, and I recognized the energy of someone that I know in this lifetime. I'm not going to say this person's name, but we are working together on non-physical level, and I sense this being this person all the time. And during that experience, we are in unity. So there is this moment we embrace each other, me as a spiritual advisor and this person as a chief, to guide like the larger group of people. And this can be very symbolic. This is how I interpret it, right? It's not like we're talking about one particular tribe. We're talking about energy like mine penetrating and interpenetrating different groups of people that have maybe more personal, narrow-minded point of view, and based off of that, they're making decisions that are more personal rather than including global well-being. And he was the one in that vision that receiving the information from me and leading the group, our energy together was able to create a big impact at the time. So I understood that my presence, and I felt it for many years, ever since I was a child, that I'm really not from this earth, and I had a really hard time anchoring myself in this physical reality, which became very clear during this experience. Because in this state, you just know certain things. You are like glued to certain energies, and the answers just come like you spit them out. It's not like you have to think about it or you need to analyze. For me, it was quite challenging connecting with the human experience, which was so fast, and it was really not something that I could stay in for too long. It was just changing every few seconds, right? I was a man, I was a boy, I was a girl, like all these different incarnations, but it was super fast. But the incarnations I have that are multidimensional, that are not from this physical realm, were very clear to me. And another very interesting vision I had was with my soul sister Monica, who was also a therapist. I work with her more and more on, connecting the clinical psychology aspect that she's focused on with more of a shamanic work, energy work, hypnosis work, so that perhaps in the near future we will create a program that will combine the Western idea of therapy and the ancient from the Eastern countries, philosophies, and some shamanic aspects. But she was present with me, and we were astronauts in space, and we found a new planet that supported life that is conducive to our growth as humanity. And I was able to feel the ground, feel the volcanic rocks, and I realized we're both wearing spacesuits, and we're so happy that we found this planet, and the life is evolving with our input, right? I saw us also back on Earth and working with scientists and just creating new possibilities for humanity. So I feel like this vision was also symbolic and just gave me a confirmation, something that I feel really strongly. But it's really interesting to see it when you are in a different expression of that energy. You know, when you are inventing things and you're looking at it from a different perspective. You're in a different planet, you know, you're in a spaceship, you see all the consoles and all the technology. So that was really interesting as well. But I guess what I wanted to conclude and share with you is that we all have this knowledge about our concurrent lives, because the way I understand the experience of now is that it's not something that has happened and now we have a different plot, different story. Through my meditations, I constantly feel like these abilities that I have are coming from Sirius, from different planets, from Pleiadians, and I just utilize the knowledge simultaneously. So it's like I'm working in a different realm, and this knowledge is available in this realm as well. So I think we all do that subconsciously. It's just that maybe you're not aware of the abilities and why things pop into your reality, where they come from, and maybe you're curious, right? Because the first aspect, of course, is healing. If you need healing, if you need to work through the limitations, the layers that are weighting you down, and you just need a safe guidance for that process, and you trust that this is the right process for you, because your belief system will indicate if that is something that will help you, that will assist you in a positive way. Otherwise, you might need to look into another a form of therapy. But I have noticed that people who are open to connecting with the subconscious have easier time letting go, reprogramming, clearing the stories, the inherent stories that come from this lifetime, the conditioning, you know, upbringing, especially the part of our life that we don't remember as much of before we were born and up to age 6, 7. Our brain does not function in alpha or beta frequency. Our brain only is able to operate in delta and theta. So this part needs to be cleared first, and then we can journey. And interestingly enough, this process is very dynamic, because based on where you are in your internal connection, you will be communicating with different lifetimes, different beings, different aspects of you that are active elsewhere. So this is a dynamic thing. It's not that you just had these realities, these realms, these experiences, and this defines the present moment, right? This is just for information. So we're all working consciously or subconsciously on different projects that have way bigger consequences than what is here and now in our lives. I want you to understand that. This is a really big web of things that we are creating as a race, being influenced by all kinds of other races that coexist with us. So you are a part of this web. You are a part of this program. And it's fascinating to look behind the veil and find out what is your part in this program. Are you interested in continuing it? What can you learn from it? What can you bring forward to this reality so you can empower yourself? This is all for empowering purposes. What I love about this method is that the well-being of the client, the benefit of the client is of most importance. We do not go to these realms for personal reasons. So as a practitioner, the goal is always to help a client. After my hypnosis, I conducted a session with a family member. The journey that he has had with me was also fascinating to me because we have connected to the grid of Earth, and Earth having different portals underneath the oceans that sort of shoot you into different dimensions based on the angle that you enter the portal. It was a really fascinating story. Plus, we connected to the pyramids of Egypt, and in one of his incarnations or experiences, he was a soul resting in paradise, in Eden. So I love this kind of information because, of course, a lot of us already feels that pyramids were not built by humans, that civilization is cyclic, that 150,000 years ago, all of a sudden, evolution of humanity started speeding up, and it's nothing we can compare with millions of years of evolution of humanoids. So there's all these fascinating theories, and we have more and more findings that are not mainstream. Nonetheless, they do bring a lot of questions, these findings that people conduct researches. We're finding more pyramids all over the world. We're finding older and older objects and skeletons, different heights, from giants to like small humans in Europe. So there is a mystery there that we are not conscious of. And besides healing, I think this technique is very useful if you're interested in finding out more about the mysteries of creation, finding higher purpose for yourself if you are still in a process of discovering that. And the fact that maybe it's not a mainstream information doesn't mean that this information is not available. It's just about making that invocation, right? That intention within yourself. What do you believe in? What is your connection to the greater spectrum of life? And asking these questions will connect you with people that can help you on this journey. I am in San Diego until the end of February, so if you feel called to come for a session, I invite you to my website, balancesperfection.com, where you can find more information. I will also be in Chicago in March and most April this year, so if you are in Midwest, you can also come see me in Chicago in the spring. I wish you a wonderful New Year celebration. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being curious. Thank you for going beyond what's common, beyond what is considered something dangerous to explore or judged in whatever way. Be you to the best of your ability. Trust your inner gut, and I welcome any questions, any suggestions. Many blessings to you. Sending radiance. Namaste.